Hey everyone, welcome to Meet the Pros. Glenn Aspaslade back here with another Meet the Pros episode for you. If you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube, say hi down in the comments below. Now this Meet the Pros series that we've been doing is a great way for us to meet the people that use Ecamm Live. Our customers are so awesome, and we have a new awesome customer for you today. Frankie J helps solopreneurs and small business owners propel their business using video by creating videos with an authentic message that grabs attention and attracts more clients. Without further delay, I'm going to bring Frankie on to join us. Hey, Frankie, how's it going?
Hey, good, Glenn. How you doing?
Very good. I'm doing great. Just a little background. I'd love to just jump off by having you tell us a bit more about yourself. Well,
Sure.
let's start.
Okay.
Where are you calling from today?
New Zealand, actually in a place called Kitty, which is in the top of the North Island.
Okay, so the northern. I'm envisioning the boot-shaped island. You're up in the top part there.
Yeah, up towards the kind of the peak of it. So yeah,
For those of us that are totally clueless about New Zealand, what's it like over there?
we have summer, so it's nice and warm. Always sunny here up north. Not much rain, unfortunately. We are in drought, but we do have nice beaches and plenty of water to keep us cool. So
Excellent. And this the business. What?
my business,
Tell us all about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, so I started Get Ahead Media about 3.5 years ago. I was trained as a filmmaker, and although I had production companies, but I realized that the little guy was kind of missing out, and they couldn't afford to get $10,000 videos and all that kind of thing. So I thought I'd make it really simple on them and teach them to do it themselves just using their phones. So that's what I'm all about, is smartphone video. But it's not just about obviously using your phone as much as it's about video marketing. So actually creating videos that are delivering your authentic message, that are grabbing attention, that are getting you more reach, converting your strangers into fans and then into buyers. So I make it about the whole picture, not just about using your smartphone, but actually using it effectively for business. And yeah, I just love what I do. So started that
That's
three and a
really
half years
cool.
ago.
So
Yeah.
smartphone video. Tell me a little bit more about that. What does that usually entail? The uh, smart smartphone video, meaning like actually creating video content using the phone.
Yeah, so using just your phone, filming, live streaming, or filming and editing, um, but it's all done on your phone, so it makes it
Hmm.
nice and quick. It's nice and simple. It's easy, but it also means you can do it from anywhere. So my biggest thing is that if you're waiting for a client to show up, or you're at the playground waiting for your kids to get out of school or something, you can finish that video that you're working on or do a quick live stream because it's just using your phone. So it makes it nice and simple, and you can do it, as often as you want.
That's amazing. What kind of tools are you using on the phone for editing? Is it Apple's iMovie tool or is it something else?
Yeah, so I use Apple and Android. I teach both. So I use iMovie, as well as I use a program called LumaFusion. If anyone's heard of it, it's kind of the most professional video editing app you can get across any platform, and it happens to only be on iPhones right now. And then Android, I work on KineMaster, which is a very professional app for that platform.
What is that one called again?
KineMaster, or
Oh,
It's spelled KindMaster, but I think it's said KineMaster.
I think I have heard of that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a professional editing app for Android.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I come from a, a little bit of a video background because one of my first internships was at Avid Technology.
Oh wow, cool.
So we were doing nonlinear editing before it was cool, and now it's just
Yeah.
interesting to see how much the world has changed. You can do the
Yeah.
same thing on your phone.
Yeah, I
Really
learned all
awesome.
that in film school. It's amazing how far things have come.
Yeah, and you used to need to buy a whole special computer just to do that.
Yep.
Now, what
And
is
that's
your
the thing
background?
is,
Do you come from an audio video background?
I do. So I was trained as a filmmaker because when I was younger, I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to change people's lives. I wanted to change their views on the world for the better. And so I went into filmmaking. And the reason I don't do it anymore is it's not conducive to my lifestyle. So my last film that I worked on was Ghost in the Shell. And, we're working 15-hour days, 18-hour days sometimes. And
Hmm.
I had a young family, and it's not conducive to being able to spend time with my family and see my kids grow up. So that was kind of my last one. I'm like, nope, I'm done. Moving on
18-hour
to something else.
days.
Yeah, it gets a bit intense
I
sometimes.
don't think that's going to take a special kind of person to do for very long.
Yeah, yeah, it's good for the money, but it's not so good on your mental well-being.
So there was some sort of a. It sounds like there was some sort of a journey into starting your own business and going striking it out on your own. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I'll try and keep it, short because it's, as we all have long journeys of where we end up. So yeah, trained as a filmmaker. Was working in the industry, but then when there wasn't jobs, I had my own production company. Um, but I decided, I thought, oh, the way I'm going to change people's lives, I'm going to go into journalism. So I started as a journalist and thought I'll be a video journalist. And then I realized I hate journalism because it's all clickbaity. And it just so happened it was around the time when journalists were being forced to do everything themselves, photos, videos, and write the story. And I already had a video background, and it's just before Mojo, which is called mobile journalism, came out using your phone.
Right.
So I realized there was this market for teaching people how to use their phone. And I started with journalists, but then I was like, oh, but I don't actually like journalism. So I moved into the solo business owner. So the people who are just like me, who are passionate about what they do, who want to reach more people, who want to have fun doing it, but just don't have the means or the skills to be able to do it on their own. So,
Wow. That is fascinating. I'm curious though. What about Ecamm Live? How does live video fit into all of this?
yeah, so I love Ecamm Live. I've been using it for, well, about 3 years, probably 6 months into my business. And I started using it obviously as live streaming, as most people think of it. People have a weekly show like this or a monthly show or that kind of live streaming. But that wasn't conducive to my fear of being on the camera when I started. So what I actually decided to do with it was use it more in webinars and challenges to launch my online courses. So yes, it is a live streaming, but I'm purely using it as a way to, one, build my audience in that hour or 2 hours, where however long the webinar is, and then convert them into buyers all during the one live stream. So it's a little bit different than most people think about using Ecamm being like a live show that they do, regularly.
So you're doing a live broadcast, but it was to a very small audience, essentially.
Yeah, so anywhere from around, I started with about 50 people. Now it's more like 100, 150 people. But
not really that small at all.
no, but it just depends on the launch. But it's more about that audience that you've got contained basically from your email list or from opting in to come to that training specifically, rather than public. It's not mostly publicly available. So.
Oh wow, yeah. So you were, so how do you feel that was different than your typical webinar? Because I mean, having that live aspect, what did that allow you to do that you wouldn't have been able to do with just kind of a pre-recorded webinar presentation?
Yeah, sure. So, the whole pre-recorded versus live. I mean, pre-recorded, obviously, you can do something that looks really slick and really, refined and take the time to do it. But it's that live aspect that allows people to connect with you on a one-on-one, like real-time level, that they can actually ask you questions. They know that you're there. You're actually committing your time to them right now, as opposed to something that's pre-recorded. You made that whenever it was, a year ago, 6 months ago, and it's just getting repeated over and over again. It often doesn't give people that same sense of like, this person is here to help me. That's what I've found, both from doing webinars and people who interact with me, as well as watching webinars myself.
Yeah. And you mentioned this fear of being on camera. It seems like you have overcome that. And how did you go about doing that? I mean, because I didn't pick up on that at all when you came on just now.
Yeah, most people don't see it anymore. Well, because it's not there so much anymore. I still get a bit of heart flutters and stuff, especially doing live. But that's why I tried to commit to doing a live show with Ecamm when I started, and my heart would be racing for an hour before I went on. And I'm like, this is not good for my well-being. So what I did is I started with pre-recorded video before I moved into appearing live on my webinars, because the cool thing about webinars is you can just do slides and avoid being on camera.
Right.
So what I did was phone up, and I got my wife to actually press record, because then I couldn't figure out how to remotely do it. So she'd press record, and I'd make her go to the other end of the house and put like big over-ear headphones on, and I'd yell out and I'd be like, can you hear me? No, good. because I had to be completely by myself in order to even try to be on camera. And then I'd record my video, and I couldn't even watch it. Like, I had to get my wife to watch it. I know, it sounds ridiculous.
It's like, I was, no, watch. I don't want to hear it.
I couldn't even hear it. I'd have to go to the other end of the house because I'm like, I don't want to hear myself. No, I can't do it. So I get her to watch it and, determine if it needed recording again. And so through this experience of doing it over and over again, what I noticed was, I mean, obviously she's my wife, she's a little biased, but she'd give me honest feedback in terms of, hey, that was really interesting. I never knew that about whatever topic I was talking about, but you just need to smile more. And the feedback she was giving me wasn't things that I was seeing in myself, like my voice sounds stupid, or I look really tired today, or my hair's not right, or all that kind of stuff. And so through doing it, and I eventually put them online, because I didn't initially, it was a bit of practice, put them online, and then I was getting comments from people saying, oh, this is a great video, I never knew this is so helpful. And what I realized was by putting myself out there, the bigger you get, the more trolls you get. So I did start to get some trolls, but those comments of this is helpful, this is helping me, this is, impacting me in a way, they come much more often than the trolls going. The biggest one I get is, is it? This is the funniest one. Great video, bro. Oh, wait, you're a chick. Was the one I got. And I'm like,
how do you respond to that?
I just didn't. I just don't, because I'm like, dude, you're so like behind the game. Like, I was a tomboy my whole life. I was like, you're way behind everyone else calling me looking like a guy. But that's kind of the funniest ones I got. I've got other ones as well that are less funny and more mean. But yeah, you just realize that those people are so small and insignificant and so far between all the great comments and the great work that you do. And they're commenting not on your looks, but the value in which you're delivering. And so that's when I realized that I didn't have to be afraid of being on camera anymore. It wasn't about me. It was about the people I was serving.
That so just, it sounds like this, practice, get more comfortable with it, and just sort of gradually become more and more confident in getting used to the sound of your own voice, I guess.
But also I think getting the feedback is important, because people aren't commenting on your looks. They aren't commenting on your hair or your voice. People are commenting on the value in which you're delivering.
Yeah, one would hope that they're paying attention to the actual content of your presentation and not fixating on hair and appearances and everything.
But I was going to say, don't be afraid to do it, because that first video is still on YouTube, and I am blinking like so much because I am literally about to cry. Like, my eyes are glistening, and the blinking is trying to hold the tears back. So it's a terrible video, and it's still out there. So yeah, give it a go.
All right, we won't link it down in the comments.
No, you can go searching for it if you're really dedicated.
Now, what about Ecamm Live features? How did Ecamm Live help to create the content that you're generating? Were you doing mostly on camera, or was it slides, or screen sharing? What kind of features do you take advantage of for these webinar series?
All of the above. Like, this, I don't mean to like gush, but like, this program is like really amazing, and I knew that from the get-go, which is why I started using it 3 years ago. But what I guess I was writing down, like, oh, which ones do I like the best? And the list just kind of kept going. But I'll start with some of the biggest ones. At the start, when I was using Ecamm, the easiest thing was the local video recording. So recording a copy of the video onto your computer. But not only that, it records it in a way that it keeps the quality really good. I don't know what kind of compression you guys are using, but the quality is amazing, but the file size is really small. So it means that it's ready for you to upload to YouTube, to Vimeo, to Wistia, wherever it is I'm hosting this video. I use Vimeo personally, to then embed somewhere for a replay later on. So that's been really, really useful, having, I don't have to go to Facebook and then find the video and download a poor quality video.
Yeah, Facebook
this amazing quality. Yeah, they do. It's terrible.
What's your approach usually for repurposing? Are you putting it up on a YouTube or something, or editing it up for a smaller video, or what do you usually do there?
So when I started doing tried to do the shows, I'd repurpose and put on YouTube, and I would cut it up a little bit. But now what I do is it makes my job really easy, because with a webinar, people are always wanting a replay, because some people just don't have the time to tune in live, or with a 5-day challenge, they don't have a time to turn up when you're going live. And I grab that and I repurpose it. I put it onto Vimeo, maybe cut sections out that I don't need in terms of lots of chatter or something happening in the beginning. And then I host that on a landing page where only the people who obviously signed up get access to it. So again, not the public element, but keeping it private.
So Vimeo is kind of serving as kind of like just a content delivery for your embedded site. Do you like that better than embedding a YouTube video?
I just find Vimeo personally has more options for me, so it allows you to have that video only display on the domain that you wish, rather than having it unlisted. So I stream unlisted. So on my YouTube channel, when I'm doing my webinar, I set it up on YouTube, and I have it as an unlisted video, and I embed that on a landing page. And that's how I communicate with my audience. I deliver my presentation, but then the replay is always in Vimeo, just because it allows me a bit more of that private element in terms of it only goes to the people who signed up for the webinar.
So you can actually tell it only embed on a certain domain.
Yeah, you can keep it really private. Yeah, because on YouTube, most people don't realize that unlisted video, people can still share that link. It's not private. So although YouTube goes, please don't, because bear in mind, the user has marked this as unlisted. There's nothing to stop people from sharing it wherever they want. So I like to have a little more control over that end product.
That's really neat. And I hadn't thought about that. I mean, I noticed that YouTube can do that for the chat comment embedding, but I haven't seen that for the actual embedding of the video itself. They're not paying attention to the domain at all. So
yeah, no, they don't. Yeah.
Once you say this can be embedded, it can be embedded anywhere you want.
Yeah, it sure can. So yeah, but I mean, I love YouTube for that easy accessibility with Ecamm, and what I found is, I don't know if other people are trying to do webinars out there, but I won't say what program, but I bought a program when I first started my business, and it's like $600 a year. And there's other options as well, Zoom, which I haven't tried, and you add webinars. But I mean, it's costing more and more of a fortune as you delve more into your business. And so what I found is Ecamm allows me to live stream to Facebook and YouTube as part of a public kind of nurturing sequence with my audience, as well as running these webinars using YouTube and a landing page. And it really sort of keeps the costs down in terms of running a business.
Yeah, I mean, the webinar tools can definitely get a little bit pricey. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, they are amazing. Don't get me wrong. But when you're starting out, you're
getting a ton of stuff. But I mean, if you're not necessarily using those features,
yeah,
it can be it can get up there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What other features of Ecamm Live?
Sorry, so many features. I just love it all. I should just list them off and then talk about them. I love plugging in an extra camera so you have a second camera. So for my Facebook challenges, often I show a different angle because I'll be showing people how to specifically do something with a microphone, like hide it, create a little cool sticky thing that hides it in your shirt and that kind of thing. So I can switch to a second camera and then come back to my main camera.
So I love a cutaway angle type thing.
Yeah. And it really engages people. I always get people going, whoa, what camera are you using? What happened? Like, because they've changed angles.
Yeah, that's something you can't do with like just a built-in like Facebook live streaming. You're not going to be switching cameras.
No. Sure. Yeah, and Facebook, when you do it, yeah, and the thing with even if you're doing with Facebook Live via a desktop, and you can actually use the API and all that kind of stuff yourself, Ecamm does it all for you. So you don't have to worry about coding and understanding how to actually set up a live stream in the back end. It's all done for you. That's what I love. So many things to love. Yeah. Shall I continue?
Well, I mean, now I need to look, because if you're saying 3 years, you could have been potentially one of our first customers, because I think it has been about 3 years.
And you guys never knew. Here I am showing up.
No, yeah, I mean, it's been, I feel like we rolled it out 3 years ago in maybe the springtime, so that's probably getting up there.
Yep. That's probably when I started using it, yeah.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun. We're actually,
it's awesome.
I think we're going to post a new version today.
Oh. Actually, I logged in and there was an update, so, or maybe that was an old update. I haven't logged in for about
we're adding sound effects and music support to the app, so that'll be fun. We're like rolling intro music or playing sound effects or something. I'm resisting the urge to play sound effects right now.
Yeah.
It's too much fun.
Excellent.
Yeah. So. Coming soon to an Ecamm Live review. Oh, yeah.
But some of the other stuff I love, which I'll skip over some of them, is the two more things: watermarks because when I'm doing my 5-day challenge, if I do go public, I can have a little watermark. I have a little watermark in the corner that has my logo and the 3-day map out your course challenge, or the 5-day shoot pro videos with your phone challenge. And then I can also have my name down the bottom. So it helps to, reinforce your brand to everyone. I have that watermark on screen for the whole thing. So they're like, oh, what is the challenge? And then they'll go sign up. So that's really
so it's
cool.
almost like a little ad for your own product type thing, right?
That's a good way of thinking about it.
Yeah, I feel like we don't take as much advantage of that as we should. Having that almost that free real estate for anyone that's watching your video. Can see that all the time.
Yeah, it's just all it is you're uploading a picture, a PNG that's transparent, and you're just placing it somewhere on the screen, and you can leave it there for the whole time or take it off. But I just choose to leave it on there the whole time. So,
are you typically creating your own artwork for the overlays, or do you have someone else do that?
No, I am the definition of solopreneur. The only thing I don't do is my accounting. So I do everything from video creation, website, artwork, like everything. I do.
Not the accounting. Huh?
No, but not the accounting. Yeah, I'm not a maths person.
Well, that is cool. What apps what apps do you like to do for your graphics? I know we have a lot of people looking for apps all the time. How can I make these transparent PNGs really easily? What do you prefer to use for that?
So I started out using Photoshop, but obviously that's a program that most people are like, oh, I don't know how to use that. I'm not techie. So what I also use now, because I teach students to use it, is Canva, which is an amazing piece of software. Now, in order to get transparent PNGs, you actually do need to pay for the full version. But the full version also gives you all these extra features like royalty-free images and the ability to make one image and then resize it for like 4 different platforms. Like, it actually has a lot more other features.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So I use Canva a lot. And then if I'm just doing something quickly in a pinch, because I already know it, Photoshop.
That's interesting because I'm a Photoshop guy.
Yeah.
Because I've been a Mac user for 20 years. And then Katie, who does our marketing, she's 100% Canva. So
well, there you go. They are both good.
It sounds like that is really catching on. And
Canva's awesome.
What is that's like a month? That's probably like a software as a service type thing, like a monthly or
it's a subscription, and I think you can get like a 30-day free trial, and then I think it's I think it's $10 or $14 a month, but I'm not sure if that might be US, I should say. So it ends up being about $150 a year, I think. Maybe that's New Zealand. It might be $100 a year for US. I always get confused with the conversions. It's so hard. Everything's in US, and then it gets on my credit card, and it's $50 or $100 more than I think it's going to be. So sorry, I don't know the exact figures. Yeah.
But I always assumed it was just confusing for us in the US. It's even confusing for people that aren't in the US.
Yes.
and it's called dollars.
Yes, it is dollars. Oh. It's just New Zealand dollars versus US dollars, and there's a big conversion there.
What a mess.
Yeah.
And you had one more feature you wanted to...
Oh, I did. Oh, what I've just discovered. I don't know why I didn't discover this like ages ago, but I was doing a live stream in here. So I've just changed locations recently because our house is getting some work done. And previously I was with a nice green background of my backyard behind me. So I've come into my office and the lighting wasn't quite right in here. I was using some soft boxes. Well, Ecamm has like a little feature where you can change the color balance and change the exposure and the contrast. And I was like, oh my God, brilliant.
Oh, nice.
So it means, you don't have this random, like, I don't know, too warm or too cold kind of look in your video. You can actually tweak it exactly how you want. And I was really stoked to find that about, I don't know, a month or two ago.
That's cool. Yeah, that came in, I think, in the last major update, 3.3. So I'm glad you found that.
Okay. Yeah, very excited about that.
And fun fact, you can also adjust your guests' lighting color as well.
Good to know. I've learned something new today.
I don't know. You probably don't bring on the Skype guests, but you can also like go in and like if your guest is looking a little blue or something, you can go in and make those same adjustments.
That's really cool.
Guest picture. I didn't have to do any adjustment for you though. I mean, you look great. Is that artificial lighting there? It is artificial lighting because in my office I don't get the sun until the afternoon, so I have to use artificial lighting. These are 2 soft boxes which I use for my videos that go on YouTube. So otherwise, when I'm in my other location, which has the beautiful greenery behind me, there's enough light in there, and all I use is this to sort of basically fill in my face more.
and it means that you can still see the beautiful green background and you can see me rather than the background being completely blown out and not being able to see me.
So that LED light is bright enough to you feel like it really makes a difference when it's
Yeah, this
it's on.
particular one is called the Amaran F7, and what it allows you to do is tweak the color balance and the intensity. And my biggest thing is you don't have to be fancy, but you do have to be effective. So literally all I do is put it on a box behind my computer, and it sits just above my lens. Perfect. Done.
Oh, interesting. And it's not blinding you or anything. It's not.
No. And because it's nice and close, I can turn down the intensity so it's not too bright for my eyes, but enough that lights my face so that you can still see the background.
Oh, cool. And what about your other gear?